Hi Krishna, everybody. We have Kulavati Krishna Priya on the art of surrendering, life of Prahlad Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone uh, to this class where we will discuss about the art of surrendering, and we will take the examples from the life of Prahlad Maharaj. So, we start with the Mangalacharan. Homagyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam वंदेहम श्री गुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता शिवशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मां विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण 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 सर्वत्र कलशामि विचरन्ति विमोचाय पदानि तव पिता पदानि द्वारपति तत्पदानि Shringlacharam ki jai. So I'll share my screen. Hmm. So when we speak about the life of Prahlad Maharaj, we can see that he was always troubled by his father Hiranyakashipu, and his fault was that he was a devotee of the Lord. He had to go through a lot of problems, and the problems never made him even take a little step back from his devotional activities. In fact, he became more and more uh, dedicated and surrendered to the Lord. Here in this picture, we see on one side there is Prahlad Maharaj, who is preaching to his fellow friends in this in his school. He's just 5 years old, and he is there with the other children of the demons, because he was the son of Hiranyakashipu, who was a demon. So he had to be in the association of children of demons. But because of his association with Narad Muni, when he was in the womb of his mother, he was born a devotee. So here, when he went to the school, he had to interact with the demons, but he he took it as an opportunity to preach. He took it as an opportunity to glorify his Lord, to glorify about the glories of Lord Vishnu. And this made him very delighted. He was always happy. He was always smiling. He never ever had any kind of problem interacting with his fellow demonic friends, and he never um, felt that fear in him. You see in this picture, just alongside this, where he is being attacked by so many, uh, demoniac energies, and still he is praying. We can see him sitting with his hands folded. Still, he is praying. So he was so attached to the Lord that he never deviated. Such a devotee is Prahlad Maharaj, and we will learn from him how to surrender to the Lord, how to learn, how to make ourselves completely surrendered, completely dedicated to the supreme will of the Lord. He never became fearful, and we will see what made him so fearless. He was ordered by Hiranyakashipu because Hiranyakashipu was very averse to Lord Vishnu. So he was always checked his devotional activities. Prahlad Maharaj's devotional activities was always checked by Hiranyakashipu, and he arranged for his death so many times. He was attacked by the elephant. And the elephant was trying to kill him, but still he he went through it. He was also entrapped. You can see in the picture amongst so many snakes. Still, he went through it, and then he also was uh, attacked by Holika, but she couldn't kill him. She had this. She had this power of going inside the fire, and but she will not get burnt by that fire. But the opposite happened. Actually, Prahlad, he did not get even a little bit of he didn't get hurt even to a small extent. So you see that he faced these problems. He was always because of his surrender. We There is one common thing we find in all these pictures, and that is Prahlad Maharaj is sitting with his hands folded. He never ever he never ever forgot that the Lord is protecting him. Every time whenever any problem came, he immediately would take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, and he immediately would start praying instead of getting fearful, instead of getting anxious, or instead of getting so worried that, oh, my end is near. That is the nature of a devotee. The biggest fear for any human is death. And a devotee conquers over this fear because he knows that death is just a step forward to enter the eternal kingdom of the Lord. And Prahlad Maharaj, he never became fearful. Even once when we are approached by death, we become very fearful, but not once, twice, many a times he had to face this problem, and he never ever showed even a sign of fear in his head. So when we talk about surrender, we have to learn that what are the six divisions of surrender. So this is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita Mathalila 22.100, where it said, Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishwaso hoptritve varanam tatha atmanikshepa karpanye shadvida sharanagati. The six divisions of surrender are the acceptance of those things favorable to devotional service, the rejection of unfavorable things, the conviction that Krishna will give protection, the acceptance of the Lord as one's guardian or master, full self surrender, and humility. So, when we say anukulyasya sankalpa, it means that we have to accept everything that will help us in our devotional service. And when we say pratikulyasya varjanam, it means that we have to reject everything that will take away from the Lord. When we say rakshititi vishwaso, it means that under all circumstances, I am convinced that protection. Vishwaso means the conviction, vishwas, the faith that Krishna is my protector. Hoptitva varanam tatha. This means that I have completely accepted that the Lord is my guardian, He is my master. Atmanikshepa karpanya. It means full self surrender. And Shadvida Sharanagati. Atmanikshepa karpanya. Karpanya means humility. And Shadvida Sharanagati. These are the six divisions of surrender. So when we try to become surrendered to the Lord, when we try to tell the Lord that I surrender to you, I accept whatever you have planned for me. I I don't want to go ahead with my plans, but I have to accept what your plans are. Then we can check if we have these. these things in our minds. And it's very easy for a devotee to take decisions, because a devotee just have to accept what helps him coming closer to Krishna, and he just has to reject what takes him away from the Lord. Because there is no confusion in a devotee's mind, like we see in case of Prahlad Maharaj. He never accepted those things said by his father, said by his. You will see in the upcoming, in the subsequent slides, that he was there in the school with his teacher Shanda and Amarka, and they were always trying to take him away from Krishna, but he never accepted those teachings. He rejected them like straightforwardly, because he knew that this is not taking me closer to my Lord. This is pratikul. This is taking me away. So he rejected them. Varjanam. He rejected it. And when such difficult situations came in his life, like we saw, he was thrown amongst the snakes. He was trying to be, I mean, the elephants tried to kill him, and so many situations. Uh, in that time, he was fully convinced that Krishna is protecting me, Krishna is there with me. So the acceptance of the Lord as one's guardian or master, that was there in him. He was not at all confused, or he never had that feeling that, oh, what if I uh, something happens to me. So he had that Atmanikshepa. He had that full self surrender. And because of that full self surrender, he always remained humble. We also observed that he never retaliated. He never had this feeling of revenge also towards his father. He never had this feeling of enmity towards his father, because he is surrendered to the Lord. So he is always trying to um, be more humble. The devotees of the Lord, they never have this mentality of retaliating or taking revenge, because they always try to glorify the Lord. And we see that Prahlad Maharaj, he he always took these problems as blessings in disguise. He always tried to preach about the Lord. He always tried to persuade people, persuade his father, his fellow schoolmates, his teachers, everyone, that you should come and worship my Lord Vishnu, because he is, I mean, he's so much engrossed in glorifying his Lord, in glorifying Lord Vishnu, that he doesn't have the time to, you know, utilize his energies in taking revenge, in retaliating. He's so much engrossed. He's so busy in glorifying the Lord. So he has that humility, and that humility actually makes him accept everyone, everyone as Krishna's part and parcel. And and the purpose behind him tolerating these problems was that he was waiting for that moment, that and if only he can become a devotee of my Lord. He had that tolerance, he had that humility to go through all and come out victorious. So we see when we speak about these six divisions of surrender, we see that the Lord always wants us to come to Him with these six divisions. And it's evident even from the Bhagavad Gita when we say, when Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, 66th verse of the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So, so this word ma shucha means do not fear. This actually, Krishna is, he is asserting, I mean, he is telling this with full conviction that if you come to me, if you come to me by giving up all other varieties of religion, which we see in the Bhagavatam second verse, Kaitavo Dharma, that anything which doesn't lead to the Lord, which is indirectly like um, worshipping the demigods, anything which is not directly addressing the Lord. We should abandon all other forms of varieties of religion, and we should just surrender to the Lord, and he will surrender us from all sinful reactions, just like a child. When a child comes from playing and he comes home, he's completely messed up with mud and all, and the mother just takes the child and bathes him, wears him new washed clothes, and the child is again fresh and happy. So in the same way, when we just go to the Lord and we just tell him that Krishna, I forgot you. I left your association and I came to this world to fulfill my desires, which were without you, all my desires of sense gratification. That is the reason we came over here. So when we accept that, when we start chanting, when we start addressing the Lord, in that time we declare that Krishna, I belong to you. And we start the process of surrendering through the nine limbs of devotional service. It starts from Shravanam, Kirtanam, and so forth. So we see that at that time, Krishna actually takes our charge, provided that we surrender completely, provided that we don't have uh, mm, any other not we are completely surrendered to him. So then at that time, Krishna says that if you come to me like this, I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Aham tuam sarva papebhyo means aham means I, tuam means you, sarva papebhyo, all the reactions of your pap, of all the reactions of all the sinful reactions. So I will deliver you from all those. And moksha ishyami, I will give you moksha. I will liberate you. Ma shuchaha. You don't have to be scared. So that is what we see in the life of Prahlad Maharaj. He was never scared because the symptom of surrender is fearlessness. We will, if we are fearless, then it means that we have surrendered to the Lord. It means that whatever comes in our life, we just don't want to think too much about it, and we just want to let Krishna exercise his will, let Krishna execute his will. That is the important aspect of being surrendered to the Lord. We can see that Krishna says, do not fear. So, fearlessness is the direct symptom of being surrendered to the Lord. So, if we are really surrendered, then it means that we will not be scared. And that is what we see in Prahlad Maharaj's life. He was never scared. We saw he was, he was, he was faced with so many problems. Still, he never got scared. And the root of this actually starts when we uh, accept the representative of the Lord, the spiritual master in our lives. And this is evident from the second chapter, seventh verse of the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna tells to Krishna, Karpanya dosha pahata svabhava, prichami tvam dharma sammura chetaha, yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyastiham shradimam tvam prapannam. Translation. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So, this is what happens when we become surrendered to the Lord or to the representative of the Lord. So, Narad Muni was the one who had instructed Prahlad when he was in the womb of his mother. And actually, the story goes like this, that when Prahlad was inside the womb of his mother, that time the demigods became very fearful that Hiranyakashipu is a demon, and there is this child of this demon inside the womb of this woman, and we should kill her. But at that time, she was protected by Narad Muni, because Narad Muni knew that this child is going to be a devotee of the Lord. So he protected the mother, and he gave all the teachings, he gave instructions, and that was heard by Prahlad Maharaj, who was inside the womb. And because of his willingness to accept Narad Muni as a spiritual master, when we accept a pure devotee of the Lord as our spiritual master, then we become prapannam. We surrender to them. Prapannam is a very important word in this verse, and this is one of the very important verses in Bhagavad Gita. So at that time, what happens? We actually get that mercy of the Lord through his representative, and uh, we become the receivers of his mercy. So that is what how it started. Prahlad Maharaj, he got those teachings, he got the knowledge which he is preaching to his fellow mates, to his teachers, to everyone. From where did he get those knowledge? He got it from one who has heard that knowledge. So that is the way we have to approach the Lord. We always have to approach the Lord through his representative, through the spiritual master who gives us the instructions. That's why here another word is very important. Please instruct me, Arjuna says. Arjuna was also confused, and when he was like completely surrendered, that is the time when he told Krishna that now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you, O Krishna. Please instruct me. So in the same way, this is what how Prahlad Maharaj received the teachings. The he heard about the glories of the Lord. So we should learn from this that whenever we go out and preach, we should always speak what we have heard. We just have to become transmitters and just transmit the knowledge which is coming down from the line of disciplic succession. So this is a very important point which we have to keep in mind, that when we want to surrender to the Lord, we always have to take shelter of His pure devotee, of our spiritual master, who actually uh, gives their mercy to us, and which in turn makes us more and more surrendered and closer to the Lord. The more we become surrendered, the more we become surrendered to the spiritual master, the more we become surrendered to the Lord, because it is only through his mercy that we receive the mercy of the Lord. So we can always remember that verse, that it is only through the mercy of Krishna that we get Guru, and it is only through the mercy of Guru that we get Krishna. So this is a very important aspect of surrendering. So when we speak of the art of surrendering, so we have to understand the the root, the core of surrender, and that is to accept the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master who comes down the disciplic succession uh, of bona fide sampradaya. So that is how we learn the art of surrendering without accepting the without accepting the guidance of the spiritual master. We cannot accept the supremacy of uh, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we speak about the art of surrender, we have to remember that this verse, which is a very important verse, and we have to remember that only when we take the shelter of the Supreme Spiritual Master, we become surrendered. So, in the same way, Prahlad Maharaj, he took shelter of Narad Muni, and with his full conviction, he carried out, he followed the instructions of Narad Muni, and he became so surrendered and so fearless that you'll see in the subsequent verse that nobody could defeat or nobody could make him forget the glories of the Lord. So, it when Prahlad Maharaj he got the instructions from Narad Muni in the womb of his mother, then he gradually grew up, and he started going to school like we saw, and there we see this picture. It describes Hiranyakashipu scolding the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj, which was there in the school, Shanda and Amarka. And Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu was very, very angry. So we see that when Hiranyakashipu, this is from the seventh canto, eighth chapter, third and fourth verse, we see that when Hiranyakashipu understood the entire situation, he was extremely angry, The situation means that situation that Prahlad Maharaj is not taking, not imbibing the teachings of the demoniac teachings that imparted by Shanda and Amarka. So he became very angry. He finally decided to kill his son Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu was by nature very cruel, and feeling insulted, he began hissing like a snake trampled upon by someone's foot. His son Prahlad was peaceful, mild, and gentle. His senses were under control, and he stood before Hiranyakashipu with folded hands. According to Prahlad's age and behavior, he was not to be chastised. Yet, with staring, crooked eyes, Hiranyakashipu rebuked him with the following harsh words. So we see that we see the opposites over here: the divine and the demoniac qualities. The demoniac quality is always highlighted with the negative energy of anger. We always see in Kama, Krodha, Moho. So, like the six weeds, the six enemies of the mind. So, Krodh is one of the most devastating energies, and the demons they have this energy predominant in them. And on the other hand, we see that the devotees of the Lord they are always peaceful. We see Prahlad Maharaj; he was peaceful, mild, gentle. His senses were under control, and he stood before Hiranyakashipu with folded hands. So he did not show these signs of being angry on his father because his father was being angry, but instead he was very peaceful because he had that firm conviction, and he tried to tell his father also that, oh father, you should worship the Lord. That's what he says. He tells his father that, my dear king, the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of yours. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only your strength or mine, but the only strength for everyone. Without him, no one can get any strength, whether moving or not moving, superior or inferior. Everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is actually an answer which Prahlad Maharaj gives to his father when his father asked him, are you not scared of me? I am Hiranyakashipu. Even the Hiranyakashipu was a fierce like demon. Even if he moved one of his eyebrows, even then the demigods would tremble. He was so powerful, and everybody was very scared of him. So here, Prahlad Maharaj was being asked by such a fierce demon, Hiranyakashipu, that are you not scared of me? How can you be so? I mean, what is the source of your strength? What drives you to face me with not a tinge of fear in your forehead? I don't see that. And that is when Prahlad Maharaj says that, my dear king, the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of yours. So Prahlad Maharaj is continuously glorifying Vishnu, glorifying the Lord. He answers his father and he says that even though you are so powerful, father, but even your strength is coming from the supreme strength, which is the supreme personality of Godhead. So so this is what we see when a person is very much surrendered. When he's surrendered, Prahlad Maharaj is so surrendered to the Lord that he sees the Lord everywhere. That is another symptom of being surrendered. So the first is we become fearless, and the second is we become aware of the Lord's presence everywhere. So even though he's seeing the strength of the father of his father Hiranyakashipu, he's not getting scared of that strength because he is reminding himself, he's reminding the father that, oh father, this is also coming from Krishna, this is also coming from Vishnu. So he is so engrossed in glorifying his Lord that he understands the source of all strength is also Krishna. So he remembers the Lord under all circumstances. This is another symptom of being uh, surrendered. When we learn the art of surrendering, we exhibit this another symptom, and that is we see the Lord everywhere. Even in the life of, if we see Srila Prabhupada, even Srila Prabhupada, he saw uh, the hand of the Lord everywhere. That is the symptom of being surrendered. So here we see Prahlad Maharaj. He tells this to his father, and he is not even scared of telling him, because he just loves glorifying the Lord. And that is what we see, the third symptom of being surrendered. When we are very much surrendered to the Lord, to then we actually uh, exhibit extreme uh, degrees of love for him. So that is why Prahlad Maharaj, he was never scared. He was never fearful. He never had that tinge of doubt in his mind that, oh, my father is so powerful. What will happen to me? Instead, he related that with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He related his father's strength also with the Lord by saying that the source of this strength is Krishna. So that is what we see. And then what happened? The extent of Hiranyakashipu's torture on Shri Prahlad Maharaj became so much that the Lord came out from that pillar, and that's what we see from the seventh canto, eighth chapter, 17th verse, where it said that to prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. So that's what happened. That's how the Lord reciprocates with his devotee. Hiranyakashipu had this blessing by Lord Brahma that that no man can, not no human form can kill him. I mean, actually, he was asked by Lord Brahma to for some boon, and he thought that if I ask him these things, then I will escape death. And but the Lord is even more intelligent than anyone. So that is why Lord Vishnu, he came in the form of half man, half lion. He came, uh, and then he had this blessing, this boon, Hiranyakashipu, that the timing of his death won't be in the morning. It won't be in the. I mean, it would not be in the morning or in or in the night. I mean, he had asked such things. So that time also, the appearance of Lord Nrsimha is, that's why it's between, it's during dusk. And then he also asked, it should not, my death should not be inside my uh, palace or outside. So in the place of his death was also on the lap of Narsimhadev. And also he asked that no weapon can kill me. So he was killed by the weapon of the nails of Narsimhadev, Tavakara Kamala. So we see, we hear, we sing that every day. Tavakara Kamala means, Kara means hands, and the nails of the hands of Narsimhadev. So he came out reciprocating with the surrender of Prahlad Maharaj, and he killed Hiranyakashipu. And it's said in the 29th verse that as a snake captures a mouse, or Garuda captures a very venomous snake, Lord Nrsimhadev captured Hiranyakashipu, who could not be pierced even by the thunderbolt of King Indra. As Hiranyakashipu moved his limbs here, there, and all around, very much afflicted at being captured, Lord Nrsimhadev placed the demon on his lap, supporting him with his thighs. And in the doorway of the assembly hall, the Lord very easily tore the demon to pieces with the nails of his hand. Nrsimhadev ki jai. So we see how glorious the Lord is when it comes to protecting his devotees, devotee who is so much surrendered, like Prahlad Maharaj. So, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Ye yatha mam prapadyante." So the Lord reciprocates to our degree of surrender. And here, since Prahlad Maharaj was so much surrendered, so just to uh, reciprocate with his dear devotee, the Lord manifested in the form of Lord Nrsimhadev, and he killed Hiranyakashipu, who was troubling his devotee so much since so many days. So, so we can understand from this example that whenever when we have when we when a child is being thrown by the father on in the I mean the father plays with the child, and there is a moment, a few seconds, when the child is being thrown and he's like in the air, and at that time the child is not scared. Just we can see in this picture also, the child is smiling, he's laughing, he's very delighted, because he has that full conviction, that faith, that, oh, my father is going to catch me. I'm not going to fall. So that is what happens when we become surrendered to the Lord. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was so surrendered, so much in love with his with his Lord, with Lord Vishnu, that he also was never worried, never ever worried what is going to happen to him. So we can understand from this example that because of the firm conviction, the full faith in the Father, like the Supreme Father, Lord Vishnu, Prahlad Maharaj was never doubtful, or he was never scared of being attacked or killed by his father, Hiranyakashipu. So when Hiranyakashipu was killed, then there were prayers from all over. The prayers came from Pitraloka, Siddhaloka, Vidyadharloka, Nagaloka. The Prajapatis came, then the uh, beings from Gandharvaloka, uh, and even the Kinnaras, the Gandharvalokas, the Yakshalokas, they all came to offer their prayers. And Prahlad Maharaj also pacified the Lord through his prayers. It was seen that Lord Nrsimhadev became so angry that even Lakshmi Devi was a little scared to approach and pacify the Lord, but Prahlad Maharaj, he pacified the Lord with his prayers. He was not scared to see his fierce form. He approached the Lord with folded hands, and he said, therefore, and what he said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all persons to whom prayers are offered, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because without rendering six kinds of devotional service unto you, offering prayers, dedicating all the results of activities, worshipping you, working on your behalf, always remembering your lotus feet, and hearing about your glories, who can achieve that which is meant for the Paramahamsas? So, Prahlad Maharaj. It's a very beautiful part of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj, the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. And in each verse, he very beautifully glorifies Lord Nrsimhadev, and he pacifies the Lord. And then the Lord, he is pacified, and he blesses Prahlad Maharaj. He embraces him with so much love, reciprocating with the love of his dearest devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. And then uh, in the last verse of this chapter, we see Narad Muni saying that evam palobhyamanopi varer loka pralobane ekantitvad bhagavati nechattan Asurottamaha. Narad Muni said, Prahlad Maharaj was the best person in the family of Asuras who always aspire for material happiness. Nonetheless, although allured by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who offered him all benedictions for material happiness, because of his unalloyed Krishna consciousness, he did not want to take any material benefit for sense gratification. You see, when Nrsimhadev asked Prahlad Maharaj, what do you want? He did not ask for any material things. Instead, he asked Nrsimhadev to forgive his father. And because of his unalloyed Krishna consciousness, he never take, took that opportunity to ask for any material benefit that will gratify his senses. Such a great devotee. is Prahlad Maharaj, who actually teaches us the principles of uh, becoming surrender, the art of surrendering to the Lord. So this is what we learn from his life, that if we really want to surrender to the Lord, we should approach the spiritual master, the representative of the Lord. We should, and then after we approach the spiritual master, we should follow his instructions, and that following makes us fearless. And then when we become fearless, we exhibit the qualities of loving the Lord more and more under all circumstances, under all irrespective of any time, place, and circumstance, we always remember Him. And thus, we become really surrendered to the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Thank you so much for uh, hearing this. So, if you have any comments, anything to share, you can please go ahead. Thank you so much.
Mataji, it was a wonderful class, and you gave practical examples of how you know that you've surrendered, right? Like, this will stay with me, surrender equal to fearlessness. So that was really, and like, if you're surrendered, then you see Lord everywhere, and the love for Lord increases. So, practical science.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your beautiful comment. So, I think we can stop here.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripasindhubhyo chatritanam pavanidhu Vaishnavam. Jai. Hare Krishna.